Today is part 3 of my 4-part series where I'm talking to you about how to multi-app to make the most money when you're out there. And today I'm going to get into exactly how you use the apps together when you're out there doing food delivery so that you're multi-apping the right way to make the most money, and that you're also doing it the right way to make sure that you keep your acceptance rating high, your completion rating high, and make sure that you take care of all the orders at the right time. My name is John McFall, and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel, where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery. Today is part 3. I've done 2 other videos, and they're going to be linked here in the description in this video, where I'm talking about how to multi-app the right way to make the most money. As I said in the first video I did, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And today I want to talk to you about actually using the apps when you're out there. If you get value out of today's video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. So in my first video, I talked to you about how to find the best spots in your marketplace, what I call sweet spots that are going to tell you where you need to go in your marketplace to get the best orders on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub, and come up with a minimum of 3. I recommend usually about 4 to 5 different of these sweet spots if your marketplace can do it, so that you can have multiple areas in your marketplace to go to make the most money when you're out there. And what you want to do then is, once you have figured out your apps, you want to figure out what the best app is in your marketplace. Here in Fort Wayne, when I first started doing food delivery, Uber Eats, if you go back to my first videos, I always said that Uber Eats was my cash cow. Today, that's not the case. Today, GrubHub pays me the most money. They give me the most consistent good orders, and they give me the best orders for me to take so that I can make the most money when I'm out there. Uber is actually in 3rd place now, believe it or not, because they just don't send me a whole lot of good stuff in Fort Wayne anymore. So I turn to GrubHub as my #1 app, and DoorDash is my 2nd app. And if I need a filler, if DoorDash and GrubHub aren't sending me a whole lot, I'll turn on Uber Eats and grab orders. This is something that you really need to do in your marketplace and in your situation too, is figure out what the best app is in your marketplace. That is your go-to. That's the one that you always turn on when you go out to do food delivery, and then figure out what the 2nd and 3rd one is if you use all 3 of them, so that you know which ones you need to focus on when you go out there. Understand also that over time, just like me, the app might change and you might not have the best app, in a year from now that you do today. So make sure you're always analyzing your apps when you're out there doing food delivery. So as a multi-apper and trying to make the most money when I'm out there, I don't always just turn on all 3 apps. I'll start with my best one, which is GrubHub, and I'll see what they're doing in my marketplace. If I don't see orders are coming in on one of my sweet spots, I'll go to another one and another one to see what orders are doing there. Then I will also turn on my 2nd app and see what that's doing. And if that's not sending me orders, I'll turn on my 3rd app. But if I get into my marketplace and I see my #1 app is really keeping me busy and I don't have to rely on other apps, I'll work on GrubHub when I'm out there. If I see that it's busy but not busy enough, I'll turn on DoorDash, and when I'm out in my marketplace, I'll work GrubHub and DoorDash and not necessarily turn on Uber Eats. If the first 2 are not sending me enough to keep me busy, that's when I'll turn on Uber Eats, and I'll have all 3 of them on. So as a multi-apper, just because I have all 3 apps doesn't mean that I always have them on when I'm out there working my shift. I talked to a guy in my comments a couple of days ago where GrubHub, if I get on a block on GrubHub, I don't have to turn on any more apps, because they are just throwing me orders right and left that are good dollars to time and good dollars to mile. And I can literally, during a block on GrubHub, I've worked only on GrubHub. If I can do this, that's what I'm going to do. But the reason I use the other apps is because GrubHub doesn't always keep me busy. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is when you're actually out there working your shift. I talked about a couple of minutes ago that you should figure out what your best apps are when you're out there and use those to your advantage and only turn on what you have to. Once you figure that out and then you get going, what you want to do is as you are out there taking orders, you want to either pause or, go off of Uber Eats and GrubHub if you're on a DoorDash order, for instance, but take the other apps. If you're too busy to take another order on another platform, then shut off the other apps so they're not sending you orders. This will keep your acceptance rating higher, and you can, get better orders with a higher acceptance rating. This has been tested a lot out here on YouTube and been kind of proven. And then what I typically do is if I'm too busy and I have my other ones off, when I get about 5 minutes out from my drop or about a mile away from my drop, I'll go ahead and I'll turn on my second one and see what that's going to send me. If nothing comes in right away, I'll turn on my third one and I will see what they have to offer me. A lot of times when I'm on a block on GrubHub, as I said, they will send me another order before I even complete the one I'm on. So sometimes I don't even have to turn on the other apps. But if I don't get another order request from the app that I'm working on, when I get about 5 minutes away and about a mile away from my drop, I'll go ahead and start turning on my other apps to see what they are sending me. And then I'll pick the best order from the ones that are sent me. If I see a couple of good orders that I look at the time and I know I can take both of the orders because they're picking up close and their drop-off locations aren't too far apart, I'll grab more than one order on multiple platforms if the opportunity arises. And I just continue to do this throughout my shift. I will turn on and turn off Uber Eats and GrubHub. I will pause my dash on DoorDash and unpause it as I need to. But the point is that you want to make sure that you always are paying attention to what's going on your phone when you're out there. And this can get really complicated for people that are just beginning doing it because you have to think about a lot of different things and you've got a lot of things going on. So make sure if you're just starting out doing this, that you take the time to give yourself the time to learn how to do it and not really mess yourself up when you're out there doing food delivery. If you're brand new at multi-apping, I always recommend that you start with the best app and then you just add one more app into it. And then once you get comfortable running the 2 apps, then go ahead and start running the 3. It takes time to learn how to do this the right way, and it takes time for you to get the experience to do it kind of second nature. I don't even really put a lot of thought into it now because I've been doing it so long. So make sure that you give your time to go through that learning curve to get better, and that'll really help you do good when you're out there doing food delivery. So I hope you learned a lot today about using the apps when you're out there. Once you learn how to do it, it is very easy to do, and you can do it like I do it, which is not putting a whole lot of thought into it. Because as you gain the experience and you do it over time, it becomes second nature to you, and you'll be able to do it fairly easily too. If you got value out of today's video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Finally, I want to talk to you about my metric spreadsheet. I've talked about it in each of the videos in this series, and I talk about it in most of my videos. If you want to get better out there doing food delivery, please keep track of your numbers so you can see where you are and see where you need to improve. I'm going to throw it up here on the screen real quick so you all can check it out. If you look at the left-hand side, you'll see I always put my start time and my end time. This gives me the total time that I've worked. I also put in the miles. If you head to the right, you'll see for each individual app, I put the dollars that I've made, the time that I worked, along with the number of deliveries. Head to the bottom and you'll see it calculates out what your average dollar per hour, dollar per mile, along with your average per order. As a multi-apper, it's really important that you know how you're doing overall, and my metric spreadsheet will also show you what the best app is when you're out there working. So make sure you go grab this free download here in my description and get a copy of it for yourself. Also want to remind you that my food delivery playlist has a lot of great education in it that's going to teach you how to make that $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery. Make sure that you go check that out. And if you want to start at part one of this series that I'm doing right now, go check out part one here and click on it and go start from the beginning and make sure you get it all in. Would also like to say I hope that you were out there making the money that you and your family deserve. And with that, I want to say thanks.